Yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy Level Up Lomax back with another legendary video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about dealing with depression as a man. First off, this might be a touchy subject for a lot of men because 9 times out of 10 you haven't admitted that you're depressed, and if you have admitted that you're depressed, you probably ain't talked to nobody about it. I know this because I've been there. I know how it feels to feel like nobody actually cares, so why bother, you know? But I also know that those feelings get heavy and they eventually take a toll on you. What I realize is the only way out of it is to first and foremost understand that you can overcome this, and it's really not the end of the world. First things first, when it comes to dealing with depression, especially severe depression, you gotta get help. But before you can get help, you have to want to get help. You have to want to get to the bottom of the way that you're feeling. You know, you have to want to understand all of this and how you got here and why you feeling that way and how can you fix it. You have to want that first. A lot of people just want to sit and soak in it. You know, a lot of people just want to feel sorry for themselves and cry, and while it's good to do that for a second, you know, to feel that pain for a second, you gotta come out of it, you know, and you gotta want to be better. What I realized as well is most of it is in your head. You know, you kind of like be in your mind a lot, and you kind of like let your thoughts run wild with all of these different scenarios of how you could have done this better or done that better, or you also think about how this is somebody else's fault and how they shouldn't have done this and shouldn't have done that to you, and how they should have treated you better, or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, you can't do that. You can't sit in your thoughts and let your mind run wild, because that's the thing that will drive you crazy. I read this book, I'm forgetting the name of the author, but the book was called The Untethered Soul. And in that book, he talked about how your thoughts are not you. Your thoughts and your mind is there to please you. When you feel a negative emotion, your mind automatically jumps into feel good mode. It jumps into trying to make you feel better, trying to justify how you feel, and basically trying to get to the bottom of everything. But the way that your mind goes about it, it doesn't operate out of fact. It operates out of what it can come up with, and then it also operates out of past experiences. That's why a lot of people, when they go to solve problems, they think about similar things that they've been through, and then they try to go about it with those solutions that they used back then on similar problems. But ultimately, that doesn't always work. It has to be something that's damn near exactly the same for those solutions to work with this new problem. But now let's get into actually dealing with the depression. Like, what are some things that you can do to actually deal with the depression? And the first thing you can do is stay in touch. Not only stay in touch with people, but stay in touch with yourself. Stay engaged in life. You gotta make plans, you gotta have goals, you gotta have something to look forward to, something to strive toward. That's one of the things, you know, a lot of people, it's easier for people that aren't, or that haven't found a purpose in life, or that don't have specific things to focus on. It's easier for them to fall into the trap of depression, you know. Also, you need to be more active. You need to get in the gym. You need to get out of the house, you know, pick up a hobby, you know, go do a sport. You know, find things to stay active, find things to use your body, you know, find things to stimulate your mind. You know, that might also be it as well. You know, some people get depressed when they don't do nothing but work, you know, and then that makes them feel like they don't have a life. So, you know, you have to create a life for yourself. You know, you have to figure out what you like and things that you want to do and want to explore, and go do that. And when you do those things, that also helps your self-esteem, you know, especially when you're in the gym and you have goals and you reach those goals. Like, it gives you that sense of accomplishment, you know, and that makes a world of difference when it comes to feeling good about yourself. Next, you don't want to avoid hard things in life, because there's always going to be parts of life that are hard and difficult to deal with, So it's best to learn how to deal with those hard things in life and learn how to get through hard things, period. Like, it's best to deal with that early on, so you don't have to go through this every time you come up to a hard thing in life. Also, you do not want to be drinking and smoking and things like that. You definitely don't want to use drugs and alcohol to cope with what you're going through right now. Because although sometimes those things can distract you from what you're going through or help you forget what you're going through, but it's all gonna come rushing back once you get sober. And then in some cases, drugs and alcohol can intensify the way that you're feeling and make you do things that you may not have done if you were sober, or it'll make the feelings feel worse in those moments. So in my opinion and my advice is to just stay away from those type of things when you're going through hard times or when you're in a depressive state, because it's just not productive. Next, you can try to eat healthy and diet. Like, this is a thing that people might not think about, but when you're eating the right foods and putting the right things in your body and getting the right nutrition, that makes you feel better physically. I remember when I went on a good diet, I stayed on the diet for about a month straight, and the way that I was feeling was like a complete 360. I remember waking up feeling sluggish a lot because I was eating bad foods, and then I wasn't getting the proper sleep, and I was working a lot. And when I stayed on that diet and I started to get better sleep and stuff like that, like, I felt 10 times better. It made it to the point where I'm like, bro, I don't want to go back to eating BS. I don't want to go back to filling my body with, toxic foods and stuff like that, because I just felt 10 times better. I felt lighter, not bloated and sluggish, So that's something that people might not think about. Just eating good foods and putting nutritious foods and drinking more water and stuff like that, that helps out a lot. Lastly, you need to have routines. You need to have routines in place for almost every part of your life, because what the routine will do is keep you on track. They keep you on track to reaching your goals. They'll keep you on track to getting stuff done on a daily basis that you need to get done. And it'll also keep you away from sitting and sulking. It'll keep you away from just going over these bad things in your mind a lot, because you're busy with more important things, more productive things, And, a part of your routine could be to not think about these things. A part of your routine could be to read a book at the times where you thinking about this stuff the most. You can create a routine that deliberately steers you away from giving too much energy to this depressive state. All in all, as men, we feel as if we don't have the outlet to express the emotions that we feel on a day-to-day basis. So it's easy for us to bottle up these feelings. It's easy for us to keep it all inside. It's easy for us to think that we can deal with it all on our own, and we can't. At the end of the day, we just humans. Society trains us to think that we're supposed to be these indestructible robots, and we're not. We got emotions too, we have feelings too, we have things that hurt us, we have things that don't make us feel good, and at the end of the day, we got to get through it just like everybody else gets through stuff. We need to talk about our feelings too. We need to sit down with a therapist. We need to be able to express ourselves in good ways. So at the end of the day, when it comes to dealing with depression, you have to not sulk in it. You have to go get help when it's really necessary. You have to stay productive. you know, and stay in a positive mind frame. You know, that was a big one for me, was staying in a positive mind frame, you know. But hopefully I helped somebody with this video. I felt like I had to do this video because I've been there, and I see people on a daily basis that, you know, aren't happy, you know, or they just going through the motions of life, or they didn't completely gave up on life, and I hate to see it, you know. So whatever I can do to help, I'm gonna do it. So that's all I got for y'all today, man. Make sure y'all like this video. Leave me some comments down in the comments. Maybe tell me your experience with depression if you ever been through that, you know, or tell me how you got over it, you know, whatever the case may be. But make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. It's your boy, Level Up Lomax. Check it out.